상한 도지 투비 대중기 치도 아저라나 야갑난 계기 라로다 대중배 치루미 대중 다 대단 쪽투비 야갑 칠리 주면 라로생게 대 남비 치루미 가라로 담바랑아리 카톨레 좀발리소다 다시 들리시네.
With warm greetings, Your Majesty Giving Your Eminence, Lopen.r. Your Highness, distinguished the representative and religious heads from different schools, different Buddhist schools across the world, distinguished speakers, Buddhist practitioners, thinkers, presentators from across the world. We would like to warmly welcome to this gathering of the 5th International Vajrayana Conference in Bhutan.
당아자라 지당기 뒤세기 온도 제때 달로 줄레샤 마셔봐 땡아지르기 다취 가라 공tum냠nen로 된돈여와 산사임베 다니기 본리기 디기 추기 공동다지쇼베 대다 대든 공tum냠nen기 꼴레 로주동다지쇼니세.
In the interest of time, amidst the gathering of all the practitioners and thinkers, as the Vajrayana conference brings the both practical and theory, and in the interest of all the practitioners, I would like to impart a guided or a practical demonstration based on the Vajrayana meditation techniques.
담방아처라 남비 추공 좀준비와진 대다자기 덤바 대상계셔자 투바기 된 추기 콜로 름바 숨라서 바코로 제사치로 대된다 주두와진 대주제기 타바니 수두이세.
In general, Buddhism was expounded by the universal teacher or the Bhagavat Buddha Shakyamuni. And irrespective of the profound teachings or the Buddha Sasana he has founded, it can be summarized into two, the Sutrayana and Mantrayana, which both can lead to the salvation or liberation.
대안에 다르람 딜로 주체이기 태바세 냐람 딜로 잡아 상안도지 태바세 대상기기 추풍기 지지동 탐제 아니 주제기 름바기 도진 다니니나 두이세.
So these two yanas or these two fundamental aspects leads to the path to the liberation. And number one, the Sutrayana or the foundation path, it emphasizes on the completion, it emphasizes on the perfection of the cause and conditions, whereas the Mantrayana emphasizes on achieving the goals or the achievement, which means a resultant.
다 딩일로 어린놈 생이 태바사 녀람 셀라고미도 좀치기 빼치셔버진 빼낭아처럼 깡타기 려바기 날려도지된 좀치 조고사처로 딜로 가림지고네는 대띵아처럼 가르나 좋아진 가림집에 휘나 다니 좀배기 켜봐유 대때날랭아로 좀집에사처로 기대기 좀바길래 땐디 대 기대 고만로 해방래 대놈도나 주저도 좀치게 켜봐윤디기 대르남다냐람기 켜봐슬람미디 조와니.
These two methods forms a gradual process that can lead to the liberation. The Sutrayana is a gradual process. For example, if we want to visit the Buddha Gaya or the Buddha Sasana in Vajrayana, we can travel in two modes of transportation. If we travel or if we walk on foot, we may reach somehow, but it may take time. However, if we travel by aeroplane, we will be able to reach faster. So based on this, Sutrayana can lead to the Buddhahood but it takes time. Whereas the Mantrayana, it is more faster, which includes both the upaya and prajna that can lead to reach the liberation faster.
Dari ngagi de rinam digi nesu na mila so nga che shenzom di de nyalam sanga doji tebe kolegi teten so uteben digi de sanga ge kolegi lo juchi ma shunese.
So without further diving deep into esoteric practices, would like to emphasize, would like to touch brief on the Vajrayana perspective. Is this gathering is focused on Vajrayana meditation, Vajrayana conference based themed on science, mindfulness, and meditation.
Ngagi kordir zumchi besachiro jagraphabi ki pintop sugi te gidegi stanye gi namba jajo dilo te khaba lesha yu lalo gi ni be jame lalo ki sum be jame jire jame ngaraj dinto ya wala soba lesha yu te tinro yonso tabata gide jejabe onto che in te tenale gide tambo chagi chugi nejo gide sugi lojo etari mesho se nejo la medade lojo chishunise.
Vajrayana can be divided into many categories depending on the perspective of different schools. In general, Vajrayana or the tantric can be divided into 4 tantric. And without going details on the first, second, and third tantric, His Eminence would like to touch on the super tantra, Sutrayana tantra.
Da ne jola me da de loji de zumchi besachiro tamba jubarachiba minche onle gutsukti ya teche gi dambe pargi parlo lamge rimba lesha yu de yasachiro daringa charana tu tukuchina tesukara lab gobe lojo mendo de tarezo gondu nyamlenda dewa de ya teche gi tidigi rimba le dumta chishunese.
Again, in the class of Sutrayana Tantra, again it can be divided into the development stage and the completion stage. The development stage is primarily focused on ripening and awakening of our inner wisdom, and in a gradual process, and it can lead to the ripening or the accomplishment of the completion stage. So this would be little further elaborate on the completion stage.
Da zo ngachara gondu nyalumbe mesuda dindigi da tidigi lojo shuni de tidigi lojo zumchi besachiro de da chitang ngachara gidesu gi sheba nembe kapsu tumon lo choshe de tumon mayemba lo lobshe se tigi rimba ni de dari ngachara na mimangara de gyumimba tama mimba karachi kabe bendiki choshe gi dube de da
Now, in the development stage, it is important to get accustomed in the basic meditation or the realization of innate wisdom. As the gathering brings all the international and the local participants, irrespective of dim and fit or fit. So, in order to make wider sense for all the participants, His Eminence would like to touch on the common approaches that is applicable to all the practitioners, irrespective of beginners, intermediate, or advanced practitioners.
Da lobshi tumu mayimba de shugobajin de tele sanga kore lamgi jugo onle gutsu de tele nale nyondo gichule rimba jinto nyondo do sauda de nyujigi titi tabe shugobi Tiin sachiro karata gondonya le tentonya mezanzame tumongi ta gom shela gom tap dorji samchi tangagi namashunise.
So in the completion stage, as there is the practitioner the practitioner needs to be dim fit or needs to receive the complete stages of transmission and instruction. So In order to have a holistic approach or to start with a gradual process, His Eminence would like to give a guided instruction on the development stage and the completion stage for the beginners like us today.
Tani tumungi onto jete shuwajin de tambanga chara penangom rupti nyamso lembalu nyendo zum chibesa chiru chi nyendo nangi nyendo la sanyi nyendo serimbaji toibi tani chinangi nyendo desugi sajongdi da toto sachi de sajong chupsayi onto jete jabebe de shintu tumu mayimba sanyi nyendo tambaranga chara Yunga yisungi ne chukha chamni chi gondroboda anel maaberin to Dorji shunisa.
Now, in the common practice, among many common practice, the most basic practice that the practitioner needs to partake is the preliminary practice or the ngendo. And if we go through first stages to the fourth, it may take time, but let us assume that we have completed the first stage, and next stage is to purify or to stabilize our body, speech, and mind. Now, in order to stabilize these three doors, His Eminence would like to impart a guided teaching.
Penangacha Liu Zumchi Besachiru, Liu China Sansumgi Chaye Yamba, Nga Zumchi Besachiru, Nga China Sansumgi Chaye Yamba. 이 셈좀집에 사주로 안에 지나 사숨기 자에 연바 안에로 류 연바 나 연바 셈 연바제로 야나 류 람바 나 람바 셈 람바 담바 조라디 안날 마비 구축디 때마니 줄로 림바진 또 답에 수고세.
So in preparation, our body, speech, and mind should be well fitted, or it should be make a dim vehicle or dim vessel in order to receive the teaching or in order to practice the ngendo. This body, speech, and mind, they are the most crucial thing that the practitioner need to advance into the practice. This body, speech, and mind should keep away or should stay away all sorts of distractions, disturbing emotions. And in order to keep away, this mind should be stabilized so that it led the body and speech to function in a wholesome activities or in a correct way.
당아처럼 peju dorji chi shuwachin lui ligi chigi chawase milika chalam penna ligi ngachara so cheba machin lambala suba migi chawadi jago paja nangi chawa tabu bewa shimpen tomni chachin kore chamni ani zumso jago de sangwa zum chigu be ngale khara linendi namna chudin yo meba chi chashina dani rigel tar namigi lungda ansugi chale mekeba chudin regetara yo meba jamichi de lugi china sansumgi chawani tachajak de lumio jago se.
The function of body, speech, and mind can be again categorized into three: the exterior, the interior, and sacred. In terms of exterior, it's quite easy that we should abstain or refrain from committing harm or violence through our body. And in a sacred, in a profound practice, when we sit down or when we practice, it is important that our body should be in the 6 or the 7 positions of Vajrayana, the practices. So these are the functions that our body needs to maintain during meditation or during practice.
Tani zumbe ngadi zumchibe sachiru jin chamala soba migi jabadi paja nangi katin de jola soba tiso jago sangwa tana ugi dongwan zamlo de pada su kararang jingi u nemzulo choka kane meba de sochu bayu zambe ane be jamili de ngadi gi china sansumgi chaye yamba animchi gi toleja gongo binse.
And second, in terms of speech, our speech should be free of slander, lying, and gossip, in physical, and in sacred, in internal. Even while reciting or even while breathing in and out, our speech or the speech should be mindful. We should be able to focus the breathing in and out, or we should be able to focus while even uttering a tiny or one single syllable of the mantra or the prayers. So these are the functions that our speech should be maintained while in practice.
다니즘에 셈세로 이세로 아니즘 집에서 저 이기 나선네 살아서 미기는 파자 기 심기 근도 차차외 봐 타나 셈디기 레베지 미지 나라 배사미기 라기 뛴다 권이 하다만하지 마음비 dim미스 생활에 마음비 차지적 말마다 권이 야마섭지 다다와라 balance 점에 봐서 곰셈이디 로조기 아님제레 노란기 포스기제 dim메도 셈코리라진 도수 유마 법 칭이가 이미들루작 곰니마도 아차라 로기 때 포스우게 되자니민디기 성화 다다와 디좀집에서 주로 조 다다와래 때 조제다 저아니 셈딜로 치나 사순기 자에 얌바들로 셈 얌바이 이람바베티 이미오 셀럽사주루티 다마란 차잡디 댕년도 조고 내가 잘 취지다 버린 부치게 자자 첨부 공대 술용하기게 좀 마망세 수미디 조 안에서로 공대 순소리.
Now in the mind, in general, in any practices, our mind should be free of wrong view. The wrong view and the covetous and any that thoughts that bring harm to yourself and to others should be abstained. And again, in visualizing or in any practices, the mind is the main moderator, or it is the main engine that can lead the body and speech. It is said that if the mind is stabilized, or if the mind is well purified, well settled, or well maintained, it is spontaneously going to lead the body and speech in the wholesome activities. And also this mind, it is the one who drags us back to the past. Again, it is the mind who leads us to make castle in the air, thinking and planning for the future. However, coming to the practice, we should neither look back to our past nor plan activities in the future. Instead, we should focus in the present moment without any distraction or without being disturbed by any disturbing emotions or any kind of circumstances. So if this body, speech, and mind are in this discipline, then we are able to practice in a very correct and wholesome way.
다나레 때 곰니지도 휴방할래 때라라 소소기 메바다 뛴디 때 담바 때땐 질로 땐디 곰니 탄데라 때땐 간내메바 이 기칸나도로 곰니 게름바 니유 때벤나도도 다투문기 온도 제데 때 가라로 다 곰니기 치도 다 땐지기 온도 제데라 바진 다 랑기 둥기는 팔로 때 생기기 때비치 배만이를 렌체세다 아니기 때나로 다자기 듬바좀 메시지도 콘도스를 좀면도 다보 시지 차니 에선의 인념자 굴라 추기 남숨쇼 다니 천다 빼지기 연기 때봐 굴려 유다 요새 삼기 미차와지 초대 토와랑기 둥기는 과곰치나 이미 아니로 미버제지도 때be 검사주로 다니기 나처럼 기름 검도대 좋티 대sem디 아니래 장카마조와 되고도 바다 추조다 쇼말레야네야도 대들로 님베베 대 검리기 좀 받지 달래 조사지로 또 대팀에 맞은 다질람미디수기 제수로 대sem디 거라기 나나록다 역값수 셈디 민기 근도기 제수만도 루마땡기 제수 마송 대심 Tanyom Luma, Tento Maluba, Chitang Kora Sewa, the session Rebalo, Chingin, Chitang Lura, the Loloda, the Tabinami, Tani da Majawa, Zocheta Ji, Sem Rambab, Toto Jagomso Sachirutup, Dejen, Tesube Sachiru Maleram Girum Balesha Jugo, Tinron, Masho, Nasanga Tuni, Chimbendigi, Dagomrim Dodu, Chit and developing.
Now, coming to the practical meditation or demonstration. So meditation can be done in any way with imaginary or with imagination or with visualizing a image or Buddha figurine just above your forehead. Or you can just emerge, you can just meditate looking inward or looking within yourself. Now in the case of in the first case, if we are beginner, we can just project or we can visualize a Buddha just in front of your forehead. Buddha in the right position, in the mudra, with sitting on the lotus, supported by the lion throne. So that with this projection, you can visualize, you can meditate, or you can recite the Shakyamuni Buddha mantra. And with this projection, you can practice everywhere. You can practice while seated, or you can practice, or you can visualize while walking also. And in doing so, it is also important, like as mentioned previously, that this body, speech, and mind should be in the right position. Your body in the 7 Vajrayana position, your speech purified and free from all impurities. Your mind not indulge or not mix with the wrong views or any ill thoughts or unwholesome thoughts. So this is the basic meditation techniques with projection or with projecting the Buddha image or the big Buddha's figurine just in front of your forehead.
Toto mitin chilo te ngomide nyamanda chagi temba jubi kap gemu chilo te ani semchi tabboda te chesem kachilo do se sangi ke te moralo kana boda te tembe kulu semdo te wajin chara di jenem bengo te tembe kudira ilo ten gom se sum te ani gi gom gilo ki ilo ju te zumbe gembolu dubne polo juve mahizo chilo chita be kapso te khonya males mesechera mahe so konko bendege te khore semlu mahindra te tenchara anira gom soda te khora te tinge sumzumbe nawasha te anile tendi te sengo tubulu ju anisulu tendi te mitenlu tengom thaplami de chowani.
The reason for this the projection or the visualization techniques is based on the Buddha's lessons or the Buddha's teaching. When one of the disciples asked Buddha how to meditate or how to accustom with the meditation, then Buddha answered that which object or who you inspire or who you want to see the most or who you care or love the most, then the disciple answered that I have only you, that is Buddha. Then the Buddha said that means you can just visualize. You just visualize Buddha in your mind or in the forehead of your, in the above of your forehead. Then as instructed, the disciple throughout his life meditated on the Buddha, and it is said he had attained certain realizations. Again, secondly, during the time of Acharya Nagarjuna, he was again asked by a buffalo herder that he wanted to take a meditation, but he can only imagine buffalo, being he was a buffalo herder. Then Acharya Nagarjuna instructed him that you can visualize, just imagining or just thinking of buffalo or projection buffalo. So as instructed, he did, and he attained certain realizations. So this is how, if you visualize or if you project some kind of object that is qualified to be your object of realization or to be your object of protection and blessing, then that becomes your source of inspiration and your source of accomplishment.
Penangachara, the Tandi Gomdi Simgin in Bengomidi, the Changachara Simgiani Beripatansina, Da Lunga Yi Sum Semichi, Ani Zokachu, se Tachita Shecheto Washin, the Sim Zochu, the Anna Leripagi, Teta, Vekapsu Tensu, Ani Bendi Gomduniam Lindi Ushingale, so Sim the Lutin in Begomidiani.
So through these stages of gradual practices, through development stage to completion stage, then you will be able to realize that among these three doors, body, speech, and mind. Of course, in initial, we may think that these three are equally important. Body is also important, speech also important, mind also important. But in essence, in reality, the mind is most important, most crucial. It is like a moderator that can tame or that can lead in either way, in a wholesome or in an unwholesome way. So we should always think that this mind is most important, crucial, and we should cherish it.
Semgi Raji, she needed Lela Totoni, Nachara Chachapta Toma, maybe Tune Delome, but Dumiki Semchi, Dingot, Tashi Mashiki Kabachiki, Moma Shabajin Kabatamebe, Dingoshiniki, Tablo, Sosa Jubajan, Lubi, Dingosibajin Kichi, Zamchinalo, Digirajin, Dishidi to Josu, that thing such a tire to Jomedulu or Make, Demale Lamgirimbasulu, Shuomachin, Machirigi. Depa Jain Jain Tiki Raji Dinga to Churchano, Penasi Salu Yindi, Nomlu Semidi, Dequara Digi Digita, Depa Tachi Tachi Tiki Raji Dinga to Churchano.
So, in order to purify this mind, it takes time, because what we are today is the accumulation or the result of our, be it purity or impurity of mind. From the beginningless of time, the sentient beings are all remain, or sentient beings are subject to remain in this, the bondage of samsara, if our mind is not pure, if our mind is not purified. And for someone, just by getting into practice, there may be someone who are much wiser and advanced level, that within the short period of the practice, they would be able to purify that mind. It is the matter of just how we are dedicated, how we are diligent, how we are resilient to practice. The more we practice, the lesser our karma becomes. The nearer we approach to our destination. It is not that, it is just matter that how we practice. For instance, a gold buried in the earth for hundreds of years. The essence of gold has not lost, but it is just defiled by the earth outside. But the essence, it is just pure gold. Likewise, the essence and the innate nature of our mind is Buddha nature. If we nurture with practice, meditation, diligence, then one day or another day, or sooner or later, we are able to recognize, or we are able to unveil our innate wisdom or the quality that we possess.
Taani toto gidi tumu lobshi dilu tendi gomtab dorji chi shusai te tumu mayimbi digi limbo washin penanga charagi dacha gitumba sachu gintawa chi in sachuro te chulu nerido ni damto lo chula soba kawachet te chachu tobi chi tukade bezigo te ane zumbenga charamale lamgirba nyundo le shudi te digi rambadi bebe te rimba jinto te tabe chi jogo te tere ashumi te tatumungi lopshi animji te tatilu chashidile seshuni juro karalu.
So these are the basic practices that the individual of us can approach as a common practices that that can be deemed applied to all the practitioners. And for the completion stage, for instance, Buddha Shakyamuni, he has taken 6 years of austerities practice at the bank of Narayana River. And this austerities practices, it somehow signals that how we must dedicate or sacrifice, or how we must put effort ourselves into practice. It is not a self-mortification. It is rather an inspiration, or it is rather a kind of motivation for the sentient beings to lead us through this gradual process, from development stages to completion stages. So with this, to all the participants from across the world who have gathered today here, His Eminence have most auspicious and Tashitele for all the participants.